Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm sure a lot of y'all probably know already, but a couple of us got together back about 2 weeks ago and had a little tournament, and it was a pretty interesting format. So the 6 of us were myself, Rob Jordan, Miles Burghoff, Troy Morrow, Brian Latimer, and Mark Daniels Jr. And this was just something we threw together just to have a little fun with.
I ain't got no fishing license.
Hey, y'all got a pen in your boat?
Oh, I ain't got no fishing license. I've been having bad luck with that.
I gotta buy a fishing license.
You're on your phone. It's just through the app or through
Just
whatever.
go through the website?
Yeah, it's way quicker. The link is on my website, but you can just type in fishing license Georgia. Just don't let it take you to one of them goofy sites that tries to rip you off.
And it was a lot of fun. We ended up meeting up on Lake Lanier and just picked a small area of the lake that was easily defined, and just went fishing just to see how we all approached the same area of the lake, how we all approached it differently and things like that. And the video I'm making right now is going to be a recap on my approach to breaking down that one section of the lake. You know, and in doing all of this, you know, we all met up from several different states. I think we ended up fishing from 9 to 3. Had fun with it, and you know, that morning we decided, hey, we're going to do a little team deal. So we just randomly picked some numbers out of a hat, and that was your partner.
One of the little pieces of paper. Oh, you got some?
Yep.
You got a raffle ticket.
You got some? Put them in a hat. Draw them out. Let's go fishing.
I got them all turned over. Yeah, pick one up.
Oh, me pick one. My bad. I'm just looking.
So,
3.
which one you want?
Which is
1. It's you?
2. I don't have any teammates yet. You got 3?
I got 3.
Here's the first teammate.
Yes, sir. Does this count as my buoy? Throw it at you.
Me and you.
I drew number 1 and ended up fishing with Rob Jordan. I think Miles Burghoff and Troy Morrow ended up fishing as a team together. And then Mark Daniels and Brian Latimer ended up fishing on a team together. And so we were all fishing out of our individual boats, but we were communicating with our teammates throughout the day. And so that ended up being a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that format, and that's maybe something we wind up doing again in the future. We've locked in a small area of the lake. We're going to break it down. Everybody's got to stay in that area. So we'll see what's fixing to go down, but I have a feeling something's fixing to go down. I mean, should be a fun day. For me, it ended up being a little bit tough. I think it was a little tough on everybody. I just couldn't ever really dial in what was going on. I had some ideas just based on what I saw right off the bat that morning. And it kind of, I don't know, it kind of led me down a road that I don't think ended up being the most productive. Either way, it was fun. I caught a lot of fish, just a lot of little fish. They got to be 14 inches to keep there. I caught a bunch of, 13.5 inchers. Ended up catching one 3.5 pounder, which was kind of, I guess, the nail in the coffin to lock me in to doing what I did. And looking back on it and talking with the guys, I think that was my mistake, is I got too locked in on what I was trying to do.
That's a clue, at least.
And I didn't adapt enough throughout the day. But regardless, it was fun. But to kind of break all of that down, we were in the area in between the 3 bridges on Lake Lanier. We went fishing, and right off the bat that morning, I started throwing a topwater. And I thought that was going to be the deal with some post-spawn fish, potential herring spawn going on. I never really found it what I thought was going to be, what I thought was going on. I found one place that there was some herring spawning. There was a blue heron up on the bank, and he was, obviously I could see him eating those. I lost a good fish, and then I caught a small fish off of that wound up not being a keeper. But when I took that and kind of ran with it based on where those fish were sitting, not only did the herring spawn stop, it's a lot like a shad spawn in the sense that those fish are going to spawn at night, and when the sun comes up, they kind of stop doing that. They feel too vulnerable, so they do spawn at night. But you know, not only did that deal kind of fade away, but I was also getting some mixed signals from the fish that I thought there could still potentially be some bedfish, and the areas that I were fishing had the potential to be both. I was looking for spawning spots on small secondary points, little places that were adjacent to deep water, but that came up pretty shallow and had a nice little shelf where potentially spots can pull up and spawn on. And also places like that, the heron like to use those same areas to spawn. They like that access to the deep water. And so, you know, I was trying to maximize, I guess, my efficiency in looking for those areas next to deep water where both heron and spotted bass could potentially spawn. You know, that being said, looking back on it, you know, I don't really know when I watch the footage kind of where I went wrong. I do in my head, but when I watch the footage back and look, and you know, I was getting the right signals from the fish, because one of the fish I lost in the heron spawn was actually a good fish. I saw him, he came up, jumped, came off. That's fishing. But when I started running that again, the next stop I made is where I caught the 3.5 pounder. And with that, it's kind of where I guess it all went downhill. You know, I got on 2 good quality bites, 2 better than average bites over there, and I tried to run with that. And as it got later in the day and the clouds went away, it was cloudy that morning, when the clouds went away, that bite just kind of completely shut down for me. Ended up doing a couple different things in the day to get some bites, but I just never really could get another good bite. I ended up weighing in 3 fish, which you'll see in the video. But you know, nonetheless, it was a fun day, and it's fun to just go approach one of these lakes and just go fishing. I mean, this was a tournament. Yes, it was a fun tournament, but we all approached it as a tournament. We're all ultra competitive, and so everybody wanted to win. So we're out there fishing, and you know, this is a lake that not a lot of us get to go to very often, and so we had fun, you know, and trying to break down that lake, new body of water, new time of year. I've actually been to Lanier quite a few times, but I have never made a cast in that one area of the lake that we designated to fish in, and so it was new to me, which makes it fun. It's challenging. It's something different, and so, you know, just looking at how you approach new bodies of water and different bodies of water, and how everybody, you know, approaches that from basically where they're at in the country, that can be a pretty cool deal to watch somebody break down a new body of water.
That one helps.
So I just want to break down this fish catch for y'all. This fish actually ended up weighing 3.5 pounds. It was the biggest one I caught that day. And just where that fish was positioned, it was kind of positioned on a secondary point, but it wasn't actually on the point itself. It was kind of off to the side of the point. Real short, stubby point, and it had deep water right off the front of it. It dropped down. I think my boat was sitting at like 35 foot, so it dropped off pretty quick. But that's what I got on. That's the kind of fish that I was targeting, because I got a little sign earlier in the day that I thought I could potentially, you know, run some areas like this and look for A, heron spawn fish, and B, places that spots can pull up out of the deep water and have a little bit of a shelf to sit on and spawn right there. So I was trying to knock out 2 things at once. I ended up catching that fish on a little finesse swim bait, just casting right up on the break and reeling that kind of right off the side of the point where that fish had pulled up there, right off that deep water, and was sitting right up on top of that shelf. Whether he was sitting there spawning or sitting there looking for a heron spawn or what was going on, anyway, that's exactly where that fish was at. And I had got some clues earlier in the day that kind of led me to run that pattern. Now this part right here is just a little later in the day, when I kind of gave up on my heron spawn / spawning area, my secondary points. You know, the sun had kind of come out, it got a little brighter. You can still see some overcast stuff in the background, but
I figured those fish were probably looking for some shade or something to get under. And so I just decided to run a couple docks right at the end of the day to try to figure out whether or not that those fish, repositioned up under those docks. And this dock right here was actually a pretty good one. I ended up catching a couple little ones off of it, and I lost one on the backside of it. I never saw it. And then just like 2 docks down, I ended up catching another keeper. So, those fish had made a little bit of a move and gotten up under those docks a little bit as the sun got up. But, it just shows you those fish can go from sitting in one area to as the conditions change, they can move around and get somewhere else. And just, they're not going to go real far. In this case, they didn't go real far. I was just fishing a little secondary place, and they just kind of slid right over here up under this dock.
Yeah. No doubt of what that one's eating. Everybody's back in now, so sitting here chit-chatting, fixing to go put these things on the scales.
He's gonna be sneaky and hide him.
No, I was figuring we start down here at the end.
1. 2.
So here goes the
2
way
in the bag.
Let's see what these boys got here. We got the dogs. He was dead serious. He got a 7-pounder too.
Nice.
Well be.
Nice.
Wow!
Here we go.
Wow!
Got the rapper scale off. That sucker don't tell no lie.
How many was that?
3.
Oh, Braxton had one day like me. Yes. I feel so bad.
Come on, man. You get no heavier. It is what they say it is. 586.
3 for 586.
Yeah, 3.
Braxton Setzer for 5 for 386. Troy Oliver.
Miles, the Burghoff the boots.
Morgan, bro.
Wow!
I've seen something like that.
Wow! I like how he holds them like sandwich meat. Yeah.
Hey, we doing a sci-fi for big fish? All of a sudden?
Yeah, we got sci-fi for big fish. I like that. Sci-fi for big fish.
Listen.
Wait a minute, that was like already 5, right?
Make deals after you start seeing fish.
Only 5, Miles.
There we go. 10:36.
Look at this. Look at this right here. This man has on 2 different socks. One of them is fuzzy. It's like a house slipper or something.
We gotta get in here and see what's going on.
Who's Troy? Troy's partners with
Me.
With Miles. So we got a team on team here. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like we gotta shake it up. Can't wait too at the same time.
Hold him up for the camera.
Huh? Hold them up for the what?
Oh, is this a
Wait a
big
minute,
sign?
there's too many fish.
Is this a big sign?
You only get
Whoa!
away 5, Troy. How many you putting in there?
He's weighing all 10.
I know, like he's got.
Wow!
Nice.
Yeah, I'm deducting 4 ounces for
What
the
did
sword.
you do to that one?
Yeah, what happened? The arrow messed him up.
That one there, y'all not catching anything?
No, I had bluegill bites though. I know they were.
Bro, they were huge when you caught them.
What we got?
10:20, 10:31.
10:31.
5 for 321. Write it down.
Look at that.
Hold on, Albert.
I've almost slipped on the dock before.
I fell and I called when I got it.
You smell something, just, you know.
Almost.
4.5 pounder flopping towards the edge, and I got him.
Let's see how this is gonna work.
Hey, Rob.
My thing was, if all the wind was going to be the my whole
You
bag
can't
was
show it
covered.
over here.
The only thing that saved me, there was somebody, and when I
This
slipped,
is
it
Ron,
spilled the bag.
Jordan,
4 of them
Albert.
stayed in, and I handed.
Catching little babies today, man.
Go, son.
This will be a mystery.
The other one just smell one. She's like, really? You just smell it.
Whoa.
Oh, you trying to two-hand them. Yo, I'll cut my camera off because of that. You want to try to bring out two at a time. Who does that? Everybody else put their bag, put it in their bag, just nice and humble. Rob has a two-hand them.
Rob
Where's he got? Wow.
Wow.
10,
Everybody got 10 something.
62.
What we got?
What we got, B? Alright, respect. That's a respectable.
Respect.
Very
respect,
solid.
Respect me then.
Keeper.
I like to be respected.
No. I need my team partner to pull his all the weight for the team today.
Look, great in line still.
That's a respectable one too.
Uh-huh.
Are we about to get it put on us?
They're all better than the little bitty ones.
Almost respectable.
Almost.
Hey, I'm a little mad at him.
This gets a little bit worse.
At least he's going the other way.
It's a little bit worse.
Hey, they gotta be what to keep here? 14?
14.
Oh,
Wow! Wow!
Wow.
very
Look at the
respectable.
shoulders on that.
He's like that.
See, like, I don't get, is that that looks like a pre-spawn bass to me.
Long time.
1036.
Wow!
Wow.
Almost a spot.
Very nice.
It's almost a spot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Two.
yeah.
Little guy.
You're my team partner. My team
I
partner.
see a big one in there.
Oh yeah, I do got a big one.
I see one.
Number 3.
I see one nasty.
Like you say, it gets
Like
worse.
bass.
It gets worse and worse.
Only smaller.
Worse
That
and
ain't
worse.
worse.
No, this ain't bad. Oh, this what you come in like Lanier.
Oh, you know, bro, juicy booty.
Yeah.
Oh, yoga pant girl right there. She got on a set
She
of
had 3
light.
something. I thought
Yoga pants.
I thought she was closer to 4. But man, I get excited.
I thought-
Cellulite in
I
that
don't
one.
catch
Huh?
too much. Oh yeah, she had a little
She
bit.
got a little cellulite.
Oh yeah.
You still got that pounds.
791.
791.
Troy Morrow
And let me take a picture too.
Burghoff.
Look at this. Look right here. We did it up for him last night.
Hey, that right there. is-
Well, hopefully y'all had as much fun watching this video as we did when we were shooting it. If you did, please go hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Thanks, guys.